I had been so busy in my grade 12 year. And
Star of the school play,
yeah, that's
valedictorian.
Right. Yeah, all that stuff. And I had huge goals for my grade 12 year. I wanted to make it the biggest year of my life, and that came at an expense, and that was time.
Yeah.
And so I wanted all my provincial scholarships. I wanted all of that stuff, and I did it all. But I would leave at 6 in the morning and get home at about 11:30 at night, long after my dad would have gone to bed. Then I'd do homework for a couple hours and get up at 5:30 and do it all over again. And it was just amazing. It was exhausting, but I was loving it. But there was one thing. I was missing my dad. I didn't see him very much. He didn't stay up late, and we'd kind of say bye in the morning, and that was it. The week before he died, the play ended. It was the week leading up to spring break, so my schedule kind of opened up. Exams weren't going to be coming until another couple weeks, and I was getting so good at doing my homework in such a short period of time, it was easy. And I'd get home at 3:30, do a couple hours of homework. Dad would get home from work. We'd play games, we'd play crib together, we'd watch TV, we'd go for walks. I mean, all of a sudden we gone from spending no time together to spending hours and hours together every day. And then he passed away on that Thursday. So that was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
47.
That we had together.
Same age as my dad.
You were saying when your
47,
dad passed away.
so young, and it was a stroke. And actually, I think his passing had something to do with you not going to the oil rig that you were going to head to.
That was my plan. I mean, when you're a kid, you've always got plans, right? So I was 18, and I was going to stick to my plan. I wanted to be a commercial pilot, and in order to do that, I was going to go work in the oil rigs for 1 year. I had a friend named Joe Gamache that worked there. And
if you'd done that, Shane, you would have missed a random phone call.
Yeah.
From this wonderful woman.
That's
right
exactly
here.
Right. I would not have been around.
God is amazing.
I would not have been around. And so looking back, I mean, it's amazing to see how God weaved his will through our lives.
Now, we've left this sparkling chapter to the last few minutes, but what was behind the decision to get involved in season 2 of what we think it may be 5 seasons of Canadian Idol?
5, yeah. Well, that was, I mean, I'd actually gone the very first year they had Canadian auditions. I went out, I had a buddy that was just, come on, let's go, let's do it, let's go, it'll be a fun experience. And so we just felt like a bunch of cattle in the line, right? And you're standing there and they're troughing you off. And so at about 5:30 in the morning, after a very adventurous and fun night, I just went, guys, I'm so tired, we're never gonna get to try out anyways, let's go. And so we left. So the first year, we never did try out. The second year, Angela's sister-in-law and brother said, "Guys, you're doing it. You're doing it. You have to. We'll pick you up. We'll drop you off. We'll make you lunches. We'll take care of you." And we went, well, at least maybe it'll be a nice day together. And so it was a gorgeous day. And I said, but I'm not doing the overnight thing because that's
the sleeping bags and the...
That's right.
Were there thousands?
Oh yeah.
Thousands.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of
waiting.
But it was a gorgeous day in Vancouver, and so we thought, like, I had very low expectations. That was the funnest part of oh, sorry, as I just kick you.
Okay.
So excited. That was the funnest part about the whole experience, was just having these low expectations, and then things kept rolling on and happening. And I remember trying out, and I was going to have to come back the next day once I made it to there's like 4 rounds. Right, and so once I made it to the next round, I was going to have to come back the next day. And I went, sorry guys, I got to work, but this has been fun. And
you were
wasn't
holding
taking
it
it
pretty
very
loosely.
seriously.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking it seriously. And so the one guy said, well, let me see if another producer, and that ended up being an amazing friend of mine. But it's funny to think back before I even knew her, and I remember hearing her say, "Oh brother, well make sure they log that overtime or something like this," right? Because it had already been like a 12 or 14-hour day for these people. And so I went and auditioned.
Some things are worth waiting for.
That's right.
That's right. So I ended up going and kept going, and every step of the way thought, oh, there's no way I'm making it further, and then I would.
Wow, top 5.
was fun.
Fantastic. Now, Lionel Richie, Gordon Lightfoot, music icons, part of your experience. You brought some pictures of people we might not know as well, but pretty significant in the mix.
That's right, yeah. There's the people that you work with from day one. Now that's a picture of the gorgeous Deborah Bird. The people you work with from day one, the back scenes people, are the ones that make these shows unbelievable. Deborah Bird is a vocal coach to many stars, Canadian Idol and American Idol, and That's me at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, actually. They flew us out on a private jet out to Cleveland, Ohio, to go spend a day at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They wanted us to feel like rock stars, and we did. It was unbelievable. It was just great. And that's John Brunton. John Brunton's kind of behind pretty much everything huge that happens in Canada. He's executive producer, I guess, for Insight Productions. I'm not sure what his title is now, but he's just an amazing man. Really makes things happen in the Canadian television industry for sure. But
did that experience fuel what's happening now? How did that build into your music ministry now?
I always joke about it. I say it's the hip check that changed my mind on music. I was the guy that used to give my friends, my musician friends, a really hard time about doing music for a living, because they would be off on some tour in Spain playing trumpet or something like this, and their wife and kids would be at home. And I remember giving my friends a really hard time, going, "You can't make a living being a musician. Are you crazy? That's not a consistent life. You know, you got to get your degree. You got to," and so all these things that I planned to do. And I mean, I almost have my business degree, but like I said, it's the hip check that kind of changed the course of my life. And when I got back from Canadian Idol, I expected to go find another job. And I had a good friend sit me down and say, "Don't be stupid. This is a huge opportunity. Why don't you at least entertain the thought of making an album or recording?" And so we had a bit of a road before we got to the Wiebes, which is our group now.
And if people are interested in your music, whether live in person or a CD, where
they can the website is a great place to go. That's thewiebesmusic.com. Yeah, and we're also on iTunes as well, if you prefer the digital way.
Well, you are doing what I requested, not what you had planned, because I love this song. It really will be a prayer. Restore the wonder. Yeah. So I have to let you go.
All right.
Over there.